I came up as a battle DJ. My favorite things were like the DMCs and studying people on like the VHS tapes. And one of the first tapes I got, Roc Raida from the X-Men Executioners was on it. These guys, to me, these were like my heroes, like the Scratch Pickles, the X-Men, the Allies. The second year I did the DMC, I ended up winning the DMC New York Regional. And it was like controversial because I was going up against a guy named I Emerge who was like, had a lot of heat and he was an amazing DJ, and I won by like 1 point. So the next year we battled again, and he won by 1 point. And I was really disappointed. But one of my most memorable moments from that night is I got off stage and I was walking through the crowd and someone tapped me on the shoulder, and it was Roc Raida from the Executioners. And he didn't say anything to me. He just gave me his fist, gave me a nod, and that was it. So that's one of my most memorable moments, meeting someone, one of my battle heroes, battle legends, just like didn't have to say anything. And he sort of like saved my mood in a way after like losing the battle. I'm sort of like fam with all those guys because my battle crew at the time was the Lo-Livez crew. And they were named that clearly before I joined. But that's Boogie Blind, Precision, Confucius. And Boogie Blind and Precision, they're sort of like the next generation Executioners. So all those guys like Total Eclipse, Rob Swift, Sinister, it's all sort of the same kind of circle. But yeah, one year I judged Raiders Gong Battle. I ended up like making a controversial judging decision. He like took all the judges in the back. He's like, "You guys sure?" We're like, "Yeah, we're sure." And he's like, "Cool." It ended up being the sort of thing where these guys like Raider and these guys who are really my heroes ended up being like people that I would know and like see a lot and like share ideas with, and you know, that's been pretty cool for me. The controversial call at the Gong Battle. It's been discussed. It's been in the magazines. It's been in the newspapers. The controversial call was what happened is two DJs went against each other, and it was a 90-second round. And one of the DJs did the full 90 seconds, and maybe wasn't as dope as the other DJ, but the other DJ did like 50 seconds. And at the time, my thought process was, you have to like run a race to the finish line. So even though like the guy's material was better for the 50 seconds, and I think it was like MR was the guy who did it for 50 seconds, and T-Lo were the dudes. And I personally, it was a 2-to-1 decision. I was one of the guys who picked T-Lo, just on the thought that like you had to make it to the finish line. Like you can't just like, if you got off to a race or you're winning after 3 quarters, you know, you got to close the game. So like the Gong Battle, like it was really cool. They had like a gong on stage, and if someone was whack, you could like the judges would take out and gong them off the stage. So just like the atmosphere of that battle was just like the judges are on stage and people are like very vocal. Like people are encouraged to boo. And so it was just like a situation where like this ruling was made, and then for the rest of the battle, like people were like yelling at me, and then I had to also perform after, and people were like, "All right, let's see what you got, Mr. Judge." Some of the other judges, I think one was Esquire from New York, who is a former Gong Battle champion, and another one I think was DJ Slice, who's like a DMC champ, USA from like '97, and then maybe 2006 or something like that. Maybe 8, yeah, something like that. Rest in peace, Roc Raida.
You know, one of the original names I think we had was like Angels with Dirty Faces. We had all these different names, and Hank was just like, "Nah, you're the young black teenagers." And we were like, "What?" And your first record's gonna be Proud to Be Black was our first song.
But Big was one of the front runners in the rap game. You know, being like one of the top MCs of his time to come out, and I adored him because I adored his personality. I thought he real cool, funny, humble.
This was right when I joined Public Enemy, so I'm shook. They didn't find anything. Talking to Chuck, I was like, "Chuck, man, did you hear there's a bomb threat in the hotel?" He's like, "Oh, that's nothing, Lord. Remember Flavor in '87, there was a bomb under the stage?" Flavor's like, "Yeah, boy, there's a bomb under, that was crazy, G."
I started with MPC and a computer, so I would just like kind of like make beats on the MPC from the records and shit, and then I got into Ableton, which is just super dope software. It's real powerful and shit, and the Machine.